All right, let's get right into it. We're going to break down the science behind the porn loop, and more importantly, how you can actually reboot your brain to break free from it for good.
You know that feeling, right? That frustrating cycle. You promise yourself, okay, this is it. This is the last time, I'm done. And then somehow, maybe it's just a few hours later, you're right back where you started. It feels like this huge failure of willpower. But what if it's not about willpower at all?
And that's really the most important thing to get here. This is not about you being weak or lacking motivation. This is about what's actually happening inside your brain on a biological level. And once you see the wiring, well, that's when you can finally start to change it.
What's wild is that science shows this process literally hijacks your brain's reward system, much like a drug addiction. It actually rewires it. You might even get to a point where you don't really enjoy it that much anymore, yet your brain is still screaming for it. Why? Because it's trapped in a powerful, compulsive loop, and it's all driven by 4 specific changes happening inside your head.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. We're going to pull back the curtain on the 4 key brain alterations that create and lock in this cycle. Seriously, understanding this is the first real step to breaking free.
First up, we've got something called desensitization. Think of your brain's pleasure dial. When it's constantly flooded with these huge, unnatural dopamine spikes, it does something to protect itself. It turns the volume way, way down. And just like this chart shows, the pleasure you get from normal, everyday life just tanks. Real life starts to feel kind of gray and boring. Next up is sensitization, and this one is a real trap. Your brain builds what you could call supermemories. It creates a super fast highway connecting a normal feeling, like being bored or lonely, directly to an urge. So the second you feel that cue, bam, an intense, almost aggressive urge just pops into your head, seemingly from nowhere. You didn't choose it, your brain just served it up automatically. It stops being about desire and becomes pure conditioning.
Third, there's hypofrontality. This is that moment where you absolutely know this is a bad idea, but you do it anyway. As this slide shows, the rational part of your brain, the part in charge of self-control, it just gets weaker. It basically goes offline. At the same time, your emotional brain completely takes the driver's seat, demanding relief right now. It's like your mind's brakes have totally failed.
And finally, your stress circuits get stuck on high alert. Your brain learns a very simple, very dangerous lesson. Porn is the quickest, easiest exit from any negative feeling. Had a bad day? Feeling anxious? Even just a little bored? Your brain immediately flags that as a problem and points to the familiar escape route because it's looking for the fastest relief possible, not the best one.
So here's how it all comes together in this vicious loop. You start out feeling numb and stressed. Then a common cue triggers that automatic sensitized pathway. Your brain's brakes fail, which leads to a relapse. This causes another huge dopamine spike, which only makes the whole cycle stronger for the next time. It feels endless, because each time you go through it, you're digging that groove deeper.
Okay, so that's the problem. It's a powerful biological loop. But here's the really good news. Because we understand the science, we also have a science-based solution. So let's get into the 4-step plan to reboot and rewire your brain. Now, this is maybe the most important thing to get. The strategy isn't to just grit your teeth and fight every single urge with willpower. That's exhausting and it usually fails. The real key is to weaken that automatic urge pathway we talked about, the sensitization pathway. You have to starve it of the cues that it feeds on.
So here's the game plan, broken down into 4 actionable steps. We're going to look at how to kill easy triggers, change the patterns your brain has learned, find new and healthy reward sources, and commit to a process that allows the brain to actually heal.
Step 1 is all about making access harder. The sensitization pathway feeds on cues, so you need to get rid of them. This means deleting those apps you know are triggers, using website blockers, and creating simple rules like keeping your phone out of the bedroom and the bathroom. Fewer cues mean weaker, less frequent urges. It's that simple.
Your brain has learned patterns tied to certain places. So step 2 is about breaking them. If being alone in your room is a trigger, change that environment. Don't just sit there doing nothing. Take your laptop to a coffee shop, or just keep your door open. You have the same brain. You're just teaching it that this environment now means something new. Your brain still wants and needs rewards, so step 3 is about giving it healthy ones. We're talking about clean dopamine. Things like getting outside for a walk in the sun, exercising, social interaction, even a cold shower. These don't provide that massive pleasure spike, but they do provide progress dopamine, which helps your brain feel rewarded in a sustainable, healthy way.
And finally, the most critical part, a full reboot. This means a clean break,
No porn, no artificial sexual content. This period of abstinence is what allows the brain to truly heal. It lets that desensitization reverse, the sensitization calm down, and your self-control circuits rebuild and strengthen. Your urges will get quieter, not gone overnight, but manageable.
Now, I want to leave you with a powerful way to frame this whole journey. It's not about fighting a war against yourself. It's about something much more constructive.
This is such a powerful way to look at it. The problem isn't that you're weak. It's that you've walked a muddy, destructive road so many times that it's just become the default path. A reboot isn't a battle. It's about choosing to walk a new path and giving that old, muddy one time to finally heal over.
So, the real takeaway here is that you are not broken. Your brain is incredibly adaptable. It just learned a pattern that doesn't serve you anymore. But patterns can be unlearned. So the real question is, are you ready to teach your brain a new one?